Welcome to RANsquawk's morning briefing for Friday 19th of March of 2010. In terms of how we opened this morning, we did see equities off to a relatively upbeat start, up around 0.5% or so across the FTSE, CAC and DAX, and Bund futures slightly lower. However, we have seen a bit of a change in sentiment as we've headed through around 9:30 now in London. In terms of some of the reasoning, no particular headlines, but we have seen just some of the uncertainty regarding Greece continuing to dominate as one of the major themes. As such, we have seen the 10-year Greek Bund yield spread that has continued to widen. That's currently wider by around 12.5 basis points this morning. Seems to be, as we head into the weekend, still very much an unresolved situation at the moment for Greece. Will they turn to or will the EU step up and provide some assistance to Greece directly through loans or a European Monetary Fund? Or, as what has been threatened by Greece themselves, will they indeed turn to the IMF? It all still remains to be seen. So at the moment, as mentioned, the spread has continued to widen this morning, the widest it's been in the last few weeks or so. And as such, we have seen the stock futures move slightly lower, paring back some of the opening gains. Back to around flat now in the FTSE, CAC and DAX cash. Also allied to that, we do have the March expiries for both futures and options. So a bit of added volatility as well for the European stock futures. That has prompted a bit of a lift for Bund futures, and elsewhere gilt futures continue to see some minor outperformance. Some of that being attributed to the still aftermath of the decent public finance numbers we had yesterday in the UK. Allied as well to some comments from who normally is perceived to be a hawk, the Bank of England member Andrew Sentance, who did mention in comments overnight the possibility of a double dip in the UK, has prompted some safe haven into gilt futures, as well as weighed on the pound slightly this morning. In terms of looking ahead then for the data and the calendar going forward for the US session, pretty quiet in terms of major economic releases, but from Canada we will have the latest CPI numbers. And then elsewhere we'll have the weekly equity numbers. Bank of England's Tucker's due later this morning, and former Fed Chairman Greenspan is also due to speak later this afternoon. And then in terms of US stock futures, could also see some added volatility there as well. That'll be because of the quadruple witching today during the US session.